Hello there, good morning. Welcome to another edition of Knocks to Nuggets. My name is Oluwayomi. It's such a joy to come your way this beautiful Monday morning. How has your weekend been? How have you fared? And how has Knock to Nuggets added value to you? I thank you for everybody that has given me their feedback. I truly appreciate it. And thank you for everyone that's on this call live. And thank you to everyone that will watch after. Thank you for giving me a share of your time. I don't take it for granted at all. Today is a beautiful day. Today, it's one day that I'm excited about because of what we are going to be talking about today. I'm talking about politics. So my guest this morning is an alumni of Harvard Business School, Cambridge George Business School, the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania, and the London Metropolitan University. He was named one of the 100 most influential people of African descent under 40 as part of the 2017 celebration of the UN Decade for People of African Descent at the One UN Plaza in New York. A Henley Business School young leader, he has been twice named in 2016 and 2017 as one of 50 UK's brightest young leaders. He was recognized as one of the top 25 promising Nigerian youths under 35 to serve Nigeria in 2016. My guest is a member of the British Council Global Changemakers Network, an alumnus of the US State Department International Visitors Leadership Program that has produced over 400 heads of government globally. My guest was selected by the United Nations to represent all delegates of UN General Assembly Special Session on Children on a special CNN live interview in 2002. I'm going this way to let you know the person that's talking to us today about politics without any fear of contradiction. He is one person that is qualified to talk about it. He was specially invited by the Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh to a private reception at Buckingham Palace as a result of his contribution to Africa diaspora development, the only ever recipient of the Young Person Earnestly Working for Africa Award at the Office of the Mayor of London. He was also invited by the Obama administration to the White House President's Forum for Young African Leaders in Washington. Ladies and gentlemen, my guest this morning possesses excellent interpersonal skills with ability to be efficient in a variety of working environments, including public service and research organizations. Above all, is an analytical thinker, a dynamic speaker with unique presentation and communication skills. Having interacted with and served as advisor to many government leaders and business executives, he deserves all the award, all the accolades we can give him on this platform. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to receive on the Knocks to Nuggets platform, Honorable Dayo Israel.
Good morning.
Good morning. Finally, I could track you down, Jehovah.
I'm glad to be here as well.
Thank you so much for agreeing to do this. I know your schedule is tight and I know it's tough, but thank you for squeezing it in to do this. And like I said to you, we'll be doing this today and next Monday as well.
By the grace of God.
Amen. So we are talking politics, and I want to just start from the beginning. What exactly is politics?
Thank you so much. Really privileged to be here and to be able to be on the show. It's always, I know we've been trying to do this for a few weeks to see what we can share with our people, and I'm happy that we've found the time to do that. Thank you so much for the opportunity, man. Politics is the activities that are associated with the governance of a country or a community, especially the process of electing leaders or the process of governance, not just even election, but the process of governance of a community, an association, a domain, or whatever. Politics is also what some people will call an activity aimed at improving someone's status or their power within an organization or a system. So you hear when they talk about office politics, yes, and of course the politics of government. So there are two kinds of politics. One is about an individual or a crossover that happens between the family or an office space. Sorry, I have a bit of my enemy has flu. I will say hi. So please pardon me. I'll keep wiping
No
my nose.
problem. No
So
problem.
that's really politics. But in terms of electoral politics or party politics, it is the process at which our society, uh, receives some form of governance. Um, and, that's very important. Plato says that if a man refuses to participate in politics, which is the process at which leadership and the society is governed, it would end up being ruled by an inferior.
Mm,
So when we realize that our society has bad governance, we can trace that with the lack of good people getting involved in politics. So when we
mm,
say politics is a dirty game, it's because those who have the power and the ability to transform the political status quo of their society have refused to be active stakeholders of that society. They don't
mm.
want to get involved. They don't want to play the part there. But we all need to, because our life is controlled by the government from beginning to end. Let me give you an example. No matter who gave birth to you, you are not born until government recognizes you as being born. That's why the government issues you a birth certificate. You have not gone to school until they give you recognize that you have gone to school. That's why they give you an early school certificate or what you call that common entrance. You have not gotten basic education until they agree that you have gotten the form of education. That's why they issue school certs or degrees by the government. If the government doesn't approve it, that's why they call some institution degree mills, because they don't have accreditation from government. Not because they cannot offer those courses, but because the government has not accredited those courses. You can
Mm,
spend 5 years on a course in university. If government refuses to accredit that course, it is a wasted year
true.
or wasted years. So you are not married until government say you are married. And that's why they issue you a marriage license or a marriage certificate. So you are not giving birth until government says you have given birth. That's why they also issue your children birth certificate with the name of the father and the mother on that certificate. And if you look at it up to the end of your life, you don't have a company, you can't run a business until government says that you have a business. And that's why they issue you corporate affairs commission company registration certificate. They issue you tax ID. They issue you all the various things that government issue to say that we recognize you as having achieved this stage. And when you end your life and you grow old and you die, you are not dead. Your children cannot access your wealth. Your widow or widower cannot access whatever billions you have until the government fully satisfied that you are dead and they can access it. That's why they issue you a death certificate.
Hmm.
So all your life is governed by the government,
True.
and you don't want to get involved. I love average Nigerians and poor people. They are very influential. You see them in the market selling tomatoes, selling onions, selling rice. But you know what it is? They are influential in governance.
Hmm.
The chairman, they are your ward exco because they understand the power of politics. So somebody stops their car on the way, they call honorable. Something happens in the market, some people want to come and cut some ticket for them, they call one honorable because they are part of the political structure. They run
Hmm.
the ward chairman in your local government. Your ward exco is a pauper, but he's so powerful that can determine who becomes the president of Nigeria. Yet you and your English, you are not interested in the governance of your society. You cannot even save yourself from ordinary last man.
Dayo,
Because
I agree with what you're saying. I agree, and I want to interrupt you here. I agree with the power of governance, but the problem is this: how do you even get to participate in this politics? And that's the key thing. You see, a lot of us and when I say us, I include myself. We want to be in government, we want to affect government, but you don't even know where to put your foot. So whether it's young or old, yes, government is everything. Like my pastor would say, if government says you're wrong, you're wrong. I mean, Bishop Mike will always encourage everybody to get involved in politics, involved in governance, and he will always make that statement. If government says you are wrong, you are wrong. I know Yoruba is called the leaders, Igbakeji Olodumare, like the deputy God. I appreciate all of that. But how do we get involved in politics? How does the average Nigerian, so you are talking about the onion seller, the pepper seller, the rice seller, how do we get involved in politics and effectively?
So there are two ways to get involved in politics and governance. The first is to get involved in party politics. That is the foundation. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we don't have a independent candidacy system. Politics that leads to governance is run by political parties. And those political parties are run by people. In every area, the political party exists. And their existence is managed by a structure. So in every local government, there are ward excos. So I'm from Lagos Mainland local government, for example. And the same exists in every local government in the state. In Lagos Mainland, we have 9 wards. All the ward have 26 excos, plus the ward chairman, the ward secretary, the ward treasurer. Ward is a combination of like some areas, maybe 10 streets, depending on how big the community is. Zone, then ward, like 5, 6, 7 zones. So you have a ward. From one street to another is another ward. That's why you have councillors. Each councillor represents a ward. So in terms of government, the councillor manages it. In terms of politics, the ward chairman and the ward exco manages that ward. And all the ward together are what forms the local government structure of the party. So there's, for example, in Lagos Mainland, 9 different ward excos who manages the ward with a ward chairman. And there's also a local government party chairman. So every party has that ward structure. Be it APC, AAP, APK, every party has the ward local structure. Because every politics is local and politics begins from the ward. So if you live, for example, in Akoka, where Trem began, and you are on that street in Akoka, there's even where Trem is today is a ward for somebody. So let's say you live in Trem, for example. You want to find out, what ward do I fall under? What party do I want to join? What is the structure of that party in my ward? Then you go and join them and register with them and participate with them.
Now, Dayo, let me stop you here. And you are hitting at something that is a concern. You just said which the party you want to join. Question: how do you even choose a party to join? Is there a way to know what the party stands for? And I'm not trying to make comparisons, but there are some countries where you can say party so and so. This is what they stand for. Party so and so. This is what they stand for. So you can make a choice. But how do you know that in this terrain?
So, do you want a political answer or do you want a real answer?
Real answer.
Real answer is almost all the parties have the same element. And that's why it's easy for people to move from one party to the other. That's why you see Fani Kayode, for example, in PDP and today is in the APC. Because there's very thin line. Yes, there are ideologies. For example, I belong to the APC, which is a progressive party. The party believes in development, believes in growth, believes in progress. And that's why it says, is it all progressive Congress, derived from the action group of the Obafemi Awolowo years, derived from the action group of Awolowo years, and all the other structures and all the other of action group and ACN, AC, and all of that. It's a progressive party. So we're like the Democrats, the Labour. And of course, the PDP is like the Conservative or the Republican. But in reality, in Nigeria, many of those things really don't hold water. There are many. We're running a project now where we want to begin to train progressives about what it means to be a progressive. Because there are many people who have come to join our party but really don't understand the ideology of our party. So what am I saying in essence? What I'm saying in essence is you have to look at a party that is synonymous with what you believe in. So I've started and said the APC, the people I respect the most, the people I cherish, the people I treasure, all in the APC. And so, they say where your treasure is, your heart is. In other words, the people that you attract. So the policies and the ideas that I believe in are also in the APC. So I joined the APC. You understand? So you sit down and say, for example, because politics is about interest.
True.
You understand? It's about interest. And also it's about what you want to practice politics. So for example, you look at it and say, okay, I want to practice politics in, let me say, Anambra. You understand?
Yeah.
You want to understand what is the political structure in Anambra State? What is the political strength in Anambra State? What party has the interest of the Anambra people at heart? What party is going to help the Anambra people achieve their goals? Of course, if you ask me, I'll say the APC because that's my party.
Of course.
But you have to be able to look. Every politics is local. Every politics. It's like you want to come to Lagos now and you want to run on any other party. It really can be challenging. You would really, really, really need divine intervention because almost every grassroots person, who are the people who have the card of the party, who are the people who have voters card and who will go and keep on election day, not sit and be eating pizza and shawarma, belong to the APC.
Unfortunately.
So, all those things, and I'm talking, all of this is like my book, Audacity to Run, Ready to Run, and Running to Win, where I shared experiences of my political exploit over the years and what I've learned in the process, and what I've learned sitting around people who have controlled, power. And I shared in my book, Audacity to Run, Ready to Run, and Running to Win. So in essence, you need to understand the party structure. You need to understand the party in the state that you want to operate and do politics. You need to understand the people that are there. When Fani moved to recently, he said the party of 2 years ago from the party of today, based on the leadership that he believes is serves his own interest. Because politics is about interest. You understand? So, but then when you identify the party, sometimes what you need is just to pray about it. Sometimes you want to pray the politics as a particular word. You want to know, okay, what party is relevant in this particular word. And then when you identify who is the ward chairman. Then go and meet your ward chairman, introduce yourself to your ward chairman. And say, I want to be a member of our party in this ward. Then start going to ward meetings, attend ward meetings, participate in ward meetings, contribute in ward meetings, not because you want anything, not because you want to run for office, but because you want to be involved in the governance of the environment and you want to have influence in your community. So participate in politics, in your ward meetings. When you go for your ward meeting, particularly in a place like Lagos, you realize that your local mechanic, your local pepper seller, are the ones at the party meeting. Don't start doing England. I have a PhD. Your ward chairman can be a mechanic, my brother and my sister. Your ward chairman, who is going to determine who becomes councillor, and all your ward esco might be the level of your security guard. But in that particular place, they are powerful than you. It will shock you that your local tomato seller may be able to text the governor, can call the governor by name in the market or at a political rally, can look and say, it will shock you that the governor of your state knows many of those riff-raff women and area boys that you look down upon when you drive in your tinted car and your Prado Jeep, and you think that you have all that at a bag of chips. No, you realize that the local guy, when you go to one meeting, if you are blessed, you can buy them a drink, buy crates of minerals, contribute something to the meeting, to the gathering. It's something we call Ishegbe. It's very important. I say, have you worked for the party? Because parties look at what have you contributed. Have you played a part? You go for party meetings. Before you leave, you order something, you buy something for all the members. You do that, you come again next week, you do that. You give back. You give back to the community. Your relevance in your party is going to be determined about the impact that you make on the party members. So you go to the party, you participate, you sit down, just enjoy yourself. And then you see the decision, this is what they said at the state, they want to do this at the state, they said we should bring them for this, they said we should bring them for that. Participate, get involved. It's like being part of your CDA in your local community. By the time you begin to get involved, you begin to get more influence in the party. And your influence in the party transmits, if you use it well, to influence in your community and influence in governance. That's what many of these grass people have, and even some rich people don't have.
Wow. But you said so much about getting involved in politics, the requirements, but somebody is asking, do you really need money and Godfather to go into politics in Nigeria?
You don't need nada. But if you want to run for office, it's a different thing.
Okay. So there are good things there.
You can go into office without, you can go into politics without necessarily running for office. Some people are in politics because they want to have some level of influence or a say. So, for example, when something is happening as a politician, and if you are lucky, your party is the one running the community or the state, and you are influential in your party, it means you're influential, so you can get appointed to be on a committee or to advise, or even just having normal relationship with policymakers. From being relevant in the party, the honorable member, the chairman of your local government, you can intercede and say, please, come and help us do our role. You understand? By just being, to the glory of God today, I'm on the board of SUMEB. I know people, even local government chairman, that will call and say, my brother, we have some teachers, please speak to your chairman. How can they help us recruit some more teachers? And I will go to the executive chairman. My chairman, sir, no so and so did this, and whatever I do this power, he does based on approval from Mr. Governor. So what am I saying in essence is it's not everybody who gets into politics to run for office. Running for office is now a different ballgame entirely. If you want political leadership, not everybody who gets involved in politics wants political leadership. Some just want an influence. So for example, you are going on your own judgely, and one agency or officer decides to harass you, you can pick up the phone and say, honorable, please, your people are harassing me. Please talk to them. And you pick up the phone and say, please, what has this person done? Oh yeah, do your job, don't harass the person. If you want to give the person, give them a ticket. If not, just let them go. For some things like that. Or maybe I remember when I was growing up, you find that one council will come and just come and lock up shop. They will come and lock. When I was going on, they will come, they can come and lock out the shop on our street, or I come and ask them for one money, one ticket, and all of that. Now today, I'm involved in policy, I understand how that is. And I just imagine that, those people were involved in politics. It's easier because you can easily talk to your local government chairman. You can easily intervene and all of that kind of thing. Now, for political leadership, yes,
Yeah.
you need a certain amount of money, not necessarily Godfather. You will need a certain amount of money and a certain amount of relationship, the
Mm.
power of people. You will need people. There's no greatness that can be achieved alone. You always need people. So if you're going to run for political office, that's about the numbers. It's a game of numbers. And so you need people. Let me give you an example. You want to run for council. In your ward alone, you must face posters. To
Mm.
print 1,000 A2, is it A2 poster? That big one here.
Yeah.
A2 posters. 1,000 A2 posters to distribute. It's going, I thought 4 years ago, it was 45,000 naira. Of course, there's inflation now. So, just for you to print 1,000 posters, instead of 1,000, maybe 500 posters now, it's 45,000 naira. You understand? And you want to paste. The people who are going to paste it on your behalf, you are going to buy ogi or starch to be able to paste it on the wall for it to stick. The starch will cost you about 5,000 naira to paste that one number. People who are going to paste it most of the time in the night, so that your position does not tear it. Because you just that people will just wake up in the morning, just see that poster has been pasted. Usually, you don't even billboards outside. You don't do that in the daytime. You do it in the night, and the next morning everybody sees it. You are going to give them money. The
Mm.
security guard that will go with them. The other that will go with them. So you're not even bribing anybody. You're just doing the things you need to do. That is already going to cost you money. And we
Wow.
also saw in Nigeria, where there's a certain level of degree of poverty, people believe that it is the time that you're running for office that they can collect something from you. Because when you
Mm.
they have too much protocol and security. So just because you say you want to run for political office or leadership, you become the ATM machine. There's no godfather that's collecting money from you. Just even the people themselves will collect money from you. As I'm sitting here talking to you, this money that I have, if I walk out of the street of my constituency and I say I want to go and buy food from that booker down the road, as I stand before, this is something that happens even as of last week. As I stand by the booker to order my food that I want to eat, people are going to come out of their houses at that particular period and come and greet me and that time, honorable, what you really are, what you, I've seen you this morning, I'm already full. People don't have breakfast. So just the fact that they see you there, they will quickly run. That's the time they come and buy food too. Because they know that out of courtesy, you must pay for their food. Even the person selling food will suddenly you are the one selling the food, oh, but they believe that that money they must collect from even when you have not entered anything. So if you look at all of that, you see that without a doubt, you're going to need a certain level of resources to aspire for political leadership.
Wow.
For example, the Yoruba culture, you don't go to people empty-handed. So you want to go and address people and tell them about your desire to run and your aspiration. When you are going, you must give them something. You must buy things for them. You're going to go and say one party leader. You can't go empty-handed now. Even if it's a bottle of sugar, a bottle of wine, or bag of fruit or hamper, you must carry that along with you. That is going to cost you money. Now, when it talks about the second thing, people, every society has a structure of leadership and authority. So, you want to be a political leader in this world. There are people who are sitting down there who have been shaping things locally. Lagos now, people think that it's Tinubu, Tinubu, Tinubu. No. The half of those things that they call Tinubu's name with, it is the people in their own local community that are responsible for. Because every community has its own leader that everybody defers to. Tinubu will not do anything without the consent of your own local leader in your own community. If his will ends up prevailing, it is because he has been able to come to compromise with them. What am I saying in essence? Your own community as a leader. For example, now you want to run for office in Ekpe and you have not gone to see Baba Bamu in Ekpe. You want to belong in politics in Ikorodu. And you've not gone to see Alhaji Kauli Olusoya. You want to run for politics in Surulere, and you have not gone to consult or see Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, who is the Speaker of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, who is from there, or to Babatunde Fashola, who is the governor from that community. So it's the way they start. Even in America, they are owners of the country in America. And they call them special interest group. That the Obamas and the Clintons and they all belong. So you want to visit America now. You are not reaching out to the Clintons or to the Bush. You understand?
Dayo, I agree with you. Dayo, I agree with you, but there's something that I'm wondering. Somebody just said it right here. Maybe that brought it again to my face. That I agree with all you have said, but majority of people, when they get into politics, is for what they can get.
My sister, I said it myself now. I said politics is about interest. Even when they go there, it's for they join a party based on what is going to favor them. The grassroots joins a party because of their own interest. They know they have nobody. So they find political relevance to advance their own interest and to protect themselves. But of course, when you now are going for political leadership, it must move away from your interest to the interest of all.
But does it really move away from your interests? Does it really move from your interest to the interest of all?
If it hasn't, or if it isn't, it's because the righteous are not in leadership.
Now, so you have it.
Let me give you an example.
Okay.
How can you, Reverend Yomi, be, for example, an House of Assembly member from, let's say, Kushofe, where Trem is, and you will be there, and you get constituency allowances, you get all these opportunities. Would you not use that to benefit the ordinary people in your community?
True.
Would you not nominate people for jobs? True. It is the quality and the spirit and the art that we possess that we take into politics.
True.
So it begins from the person, not the system. It is you. Let me say this in Yoruba. Naturally, in other words, if you are a generous person, when you get into the politics, even you will spend your own money. I know this of Senator Tokuma Miru, Lagos East. The things that he does, even with his own money, to develop his constituency. But of course, you can also say, I want not to in the sense that he's already successful. So for somebody, for example, in a ward who is just trying to achieve something, sometimes their own priority is first, they can't you. But even when you are trying to you must also be helping people and lifting people up. You know?
But, Dayo, yes. I agree, but a lot of Christians run away from politics. Because again, we are back to the story that it's dirty. Most Christians, we can't deal this.
If it's dirty, then go and buy iPod, take it into it, and go and wash it clean. We're in politics. You understand? The Bible says, the light shines in darkness, and darkness comprehended not.
Hell.
The dirtier it is, the more glorious it will become when you get there. It's going to be a shining. You know one challenge I have in my office? People will just come from nowhere, random people, because there's a myth that no matter what you go with to Israel's office, you will always come out smiling. It's crazy when people come. I say, things that doesn't even relate to my office. People will come and I pick the phone. Honorable Commissioner, please, there's somebody here that needs something. My GM, please help somebody. And people will come because you are a burning and shining light. You are meant to use your light to help others and to save the world.
Okay.
You understand? So
Let me
if
put
you
you on the
way you
spot.
can save the community without political authority and power.
Okay, Dayo, let me put you on the spot. And I really want to put you on the spot now. You're a Christian, and I appreciate that fact. How many Christians are you able to drag into politics with you?
So it's not an issue of me dragging people into politics. I
That's
would
the
rather
issue.
no.
Christians
Let me
are
ask you
running
this.
because it's
How
empty.
many people? The question for me is how many people have I been able to touch their life with my influence in politics? How many people have I been able to get jobs because of my influence in politics? My duty is not to get people into politics. My duty is to help people become better in their life, to live a glorious life. And that is only the merit that God will judge me when I stand before Him on the throne on the
But
judgment day. How
I
many
agree.
times have you been able to judge? Now, if those influence begin to inspire people to go into politics, that's a good thing. But nobody should force you to go into politics. You must see a reason to want to be involved in the governance of your society. My judgment will be based on how many people, through my influence in politics, how many people have been able to get a job, how many people's lives have been better, how many jobs have we been able to create, how many people have we been able to get into school, how many people have been able to empower with money, resources, and skills and tools to be able to better the life of their families. That is what politics is for. To become a channel and a tool to bless others.
I agree. I agree. I agree that that is what politics is for. But again, when the righteous you need to get them in. A lot of Christians, and I'll be real, a lot of Christians, and I'm saying this, and I'm sure maybe I'm speaking for like some people on this call, would say, yes, I want to get involved in this thing. But like you said, it's the mechanics, it's the security. When you sit down with them, you're not even thinking at the same level. Where do you start from? So for a young person or a new person to politics, you're like a fish out of water when you get to their midst. How do you survive?
So it's all about relationship. When you go to those places, you want to get involved, and you go to all those meetings, you go there humble. You go there to build relationship. You don't go there the first day and you're seeking for power. And the first day you're seeking for relevance. No. Your power and your strength comes in the place of service. What can I do? What can I offer? It is in your service that they look at you and say, this person is good. They have these skills, they have this capacity. Oh, they've contributed so much. Now let's give them opportunity to lead us. You don't come into politics because you want power. That's the kind of people that go there and then they just no. You come, for example, look at me. I've been doing NGO for many years, developing communities, touching lives, speaking for the underprivileged. And so when it was time to get involved in politics, I felt the leading to now begin to do more from what I was doing before. Because from the NGO, for example, you want a road to be done. As an NGO, you go to the local government chairman or the commissioner for works. Please help us fix our road. But imagine that you are the local government chairman. You'll be able to do those things without talking to begging anybody. You'll be able to, or like commissioner, you'll be able to make those influence. You're able to nominate the road in the budget. So there are more you can do from the standpoint of having political influence. And that is really the substance of what I'm saying. So in essence, no, the only thing that God instructed us to go and mobilize people for is the kingdom of God and to save soul. But to be involved politically, you have, the scripture says, then I arose as a mother in Israel. Nobody made the mother in Israel. She arose to become the mother in Israel. You have to stand and say, I want to do something for my people. I want to lead. I want to make a difference. And it comes from a place of service. Even if you want political leadership, you understand? But it must come from a place of service. I want to serve you. And you now begin to show them what you bring on board as a public servant, the values that you can create as a public servant.
Wow. We're going to have to pause this conversation this week to continue on Monday. But before we go, I need you to answer this quick question. Do you have to participate in politics only from the state of origin or your current location or residence?
No, you can participate anywhere you want to. Anywhere you want to. Politics is local, so it's really where you are based. But of course, in Nigeria, you can't say because you live and work in Abia now, and you're Yoruba man and you want to run, the people there will tell you to go back to your city. Yeah, Demola, Adeshere, and you want to run for governor of Abia State. So of course, there's also the politics of tribe and ethnicity and religion. But there are some positions that just because you are in that community, you've lived there, you've been there all your life, your religion will not matter. We have an Igbo man in the Lagos State House of Assembly. We have an Hausa man who is commissioner in Lagos State. But of course, Lagos is liberal. Lagos is a different thing entirely because of the kind of, culture, cosmopolitan culture that's been built over the years by people like Ashwaji Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and built upon by Governor Fashola up to our governor today, Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and every other people have served Lagos State. Now.
Wow. We will pause here today and come back next Monday. And when we come on Monday, one of the things I want to start off with is your own story. How did you get involved in politics? And then we're talking about the challenges in politics today. So next week, please get ready for me. We need to hear your story. How did you get involved in politics? And then other questions will come up. But for today, I want to thank you so much for allowing me to track you down and hold you to your seat for this last 42 minutes. I truly appreciate it. And also next week, somebody says we're going to have to talk about gender equality. Are men at a better advantage than women? Because we might actually come for your neck next week. The women are speaking. Are we at an advantage? So we'll talk about gender equality. We're going to talk about how you got involved and the challenges in politics. I hope we can deal it next week. Otherwise, we'll again reschedule another time. But thank you so much, Dayo, for your time today. I don't take it for granted. Thank you so much. I'll catch up with you behind the stage.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Wow. I don't know if you are still sitting. I'm holding myself down here because it's so much. But something is said is so key. If we don't get involved, we cannot complain. And that is the truth. If we sit down and we are doing the armchair critic, we cannot expect anything different. And BMG rightly captured it. The righteous need to be in governance to change the narrative. That's the truth. We can't sit down and expect things to happen because we are praying. There's a part of work. Show me your faith without your works, but I will show you my faith by my works. Let's go into governance. I challenge everybody on this call. Get involved in politics from your locality. Find out the ward you are in. Meet your ward chairman. Ask what you can do. Let's begin to make an impact in our areas. And I know that if everybody gets up, we will see the Nigeria of our dreams. And not just Nigeria alone. Wherever you are, you are living today, if you get involved and contribute your quota, you will see a better nation. You'll see a better community, and everyone will be happier for it. And so that's it for today on Knocks to Nuggets. Thank you, everyone that's on this call. Thank you for those that will watch after. I don't take it for granted. Please keep the questions coming. Keep the feedback coming. I truly do appreciate it. And until I come your way next week, Monday, 7:45, still talking about politics. Don't ever forget, if you can think it, you can be it, you can do it. Nothing is impossible because you are possible. See you next week, and don't forget, together we win. God bless you.